What's up, y'all? This is your boy Eddie Jackson. Welcome back to the Drop That Podcast. Before we get started, we're going to shout out to our sponsor, Layback TV, the number one app and network that's going to slaughter all the competition, whether it's Xfinity or Spectrum, in a whole. Okay? Only $25 a month. It has over 10,000 channels, movies on demand, even movies that came out in the movies, every sports channel, every HBO, every Cinemax, every language, Spanish, English, French, Espanol. I said already Spanish. Okay, check them out. Laybacktv.com. That's Layback TV.com. It's compatible with your Androids, your iPhones, and your Fire Sticks. Okay, check them out. Say and shout out, all the information. Tell them Eddie Jack sent you. And even check out their Instagram. Okay, laybacktv_official. Now back to the episode. What up? It's Boxing Talk, guys, and we got a interesting event this Saturday. Okay, it's going down. I'm talking YouTube sensation boxer Jake Paul and the King of Violence bare knuckle fighting championships and former UFC fighter Platinum Mike Perry. That's a problem child against Platinum. Now, this was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had to step out. He had an ulcer. It's been postponed to November 15 at the AT&T Stadium, Cowboys Stadium, on Netflix. But this is a little appetizer, all right? We're not going to get Jake Paul versus Iron Mike. We're going to get Jake Paul versus Platinum Mike. And it's going to go down on DAZN pay-per-view in Tampa, okay, this Saturday. You know what I mean? Let's go it up. We got Julio Cesar Chavez, legendary family and son of legendary boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Okay, this is Junior. He's going to fight former UFC fighter Uriah Hall. Okay? You know it's Uriah Hall. He was runner-up in the Ultimate Fighter. He was doing crazy roundhouse kicks, knocking everybody the fuck out. Now we get to see what he do with his hands. This was supposed to be Darren Till versus Chavez Jr., but Darren Till having visa issues. He can't get into the country and so forth, right? So, you know what I mean? Jamaica zone, Uriah Hall. It's gonna put put it in the ring with Mexico's own Chavez Jr. I think this is going to be a bomb burner, you know what I mean? It's the first time we get Jamaica versus Mexico. I think it's going to be interesting on this one. I prefer this fight over the Darren Till Chavez Jr. fight, actually. We got a co-main event. We got unified champion Amanda Serrano versus Stevie Morgan. Now, it was supposed to be for the Mike Tyson fight. Amanda Serrano was going to get her rematch against, what was that? Forgot her damn name. It was, Katie Taylor. There you go. Katie Taylor, Ireland's own Katie Taylor. They fought, years back in the first female main event in Madison Square Garden, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Katie Taylor was able to get the decision. A lot of people gave it to Amanda Serrano. That's Ireland versus Puerto Rico. Epa, puñeta. All right. But, just as a little warm-up to stay active, Amanda's going to put up her titles against Stevie Morgan. We will get the fight with Taylor versus Serrano Part 2 on the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight November 15th. So Amanda got to do her thing, get the win, and boom, we're going to get that rematch with Serrano and Taylor. And we're going to get it in Texas. You know what I mean? No bullshit with New York. New York, we on that bullshit with their commission. But in the main event, we got Jake Paul. Jake Paul is, coming off 2 wins against 2 elite. I don't know if elite, but they were professional boxers. He's got to win 2 wins over Tyron Woodley, 1 by decision, 1 by knockout. We got a decision win over the legendary and former middleweight champion of the UFC, Anderson the Spider Silva. Woodley, he's former welterweight champion in the UFC. Also, knockout win on Ben Askren, former One Championship and Bellator welterweight champion Ben Askren. But Jake Paul, his only loss coming to Tommy Fury. A lot of people gave it to Jake Paul. We still never got that rematch. I doubt we will in anytime soon. And if we do, I think Jake Paul actually wipes the floor with him because he stays active. But this will be interesting to see what new tools Jake Paul has been able to build. Under his skill set. And this will be interesting. This will be the first fighter, not first fighter, but now another fighter that is just as young as Jake Paul that Paul gets to fight against, who's at his prime. He had a little stint up in UFC when it comes down to like wins and losses, but Platinum Mike Perry had just found his rhythm going up over there at BKFC, getting awarded King of Violence. He's got wins over MVP, Michael Venom Page. What was it? A win over recently Thiago the Pitbull Alves. He knocked out the teeth of Luke Rockhold. And he defeated Eddie Alvarez, the Underground King, former Bellator and UFC lightweight champion. You know what I mean? Like, he's been doing it. Everybody who he stepped up against has either been champion or contender. You know what I'm saying? Champions like former UFC champions like Luke Rockhold and Eddie Alvarez, and former top contenders, one in Bellator with MVP and one in Thiago Alves, if you remember the GSP fight, with GSP versus Alves at UFC 100. And no one's ever did the clinic on Alves that Mike Perry was able to do. You know what I mean? Like, Alves was undefeated in BKFC. But I think a lot of inactivity, it was just too easy for Mike Perry. He's busting people's eyes. He's breaking their orbital bone. Mike Perry had an option to either get another big fight at BKFC main event, or he had the option to go for a title against someone elite in BKFC, or take this fight. And this was a great opportunity to keep his name relevant. You know what I mean? Just push it up. I mean, as far as promotion go, I think Jake Paul's been doing a clinic with Mike Perry. Mike Perry, I think he does all his talking in the ring. This will be interesting when it's come down to boxing. They both sparred years ago when Jake Paul was, up and coming. And, some people say Jake, had the best of him, or Mike had the best of him. I don't think it matters. You know what I mean? Some people think it matters as far as, sparring sessions go. But, you're going to have headgear and everything like that. It's like, are you really getting a full-fledged knockout? This one goes on your record. This is 8 rounds. I think it's cruiserweight. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's cruiserweight that they fight at, because it was supposed to be heavyweight with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. But this makes sense. As far as our segment for who you got, because we got to do a segment for who you got when it comes down to this fight. 8 rounds. I mean, I think this is going to be different because in BKFC you're not really carrying. I mean, you're swinging, but it's like less rounds than that, and you don't have gloves. It's bare knuckle. As far as the cardio goes, I don't give either one the advantage. As far as the speed goes, I'm gonna go with Mike Perry on this one. And as far as power goes, I'm gonna go with Jake Paul. But as far as win goes, some people think that this fight is not going the distance. I'm going to rule against that, and I'm gonna assume this fight, I predict that this fight will go the distance. I think it will go 8 rounds. And you'd be surprised how fast the first 4 rounds are going to go. It's going to go like that. So I call this fight going the distance. And I think Jake Paul gets the win by decision. And he will go on November 15th to fight Mike Tyson. Y'all check out the fight. It goes down this Saturday over there in Tampa, Florida, on the Zone pay-per-view. I hear the prices are fucked or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Y'all check it out. Jake Paul versus, the Problem Child. Jake Paul versus Platinum Mike Perry. This is going to be a good fucking fight. I salute to everybody. everyone who's involved that did their thing. MVP Promotions and so forth, okay? Y'all check it out. All right, it's going down this Saturday. But we out of here for Boxing Talk. This is your boy Eddie Jackson's the Drop That Podcast. Hit that subscribe button, like the page. Y'all know what to fucking do. I let the comments open if you got a fucking something to say. Till then, peace.